Everyone in the hall froze. Eyes widened, breaths held. This was no ordinary moment. Nefertiti entered. Like magic emerging from the depths of history, she advanced. She was not merely beautiful. Beauty itself had taken her form, as if the Nile had traced her features with its sacred waters, and the sun gifted her its dawn's radiance. Her skin glowed like the first light of day. Her eyes held the Nile's enchantment under moonlight, and her gaze was not that of an ordinary woman, but of one accustomed to destiny bowing before her. Ministers, priests, guards, all stepped back. None dared look directly at her face, as if her beauty surpassed human endurance. Except Akhenaten. He alone did not avert his eyes. In that moment, it was not a meeting of man and woman, but of two forces, two legends, unaware they were about to alter history's course. But was this the dawn of a golden age? Or does beauty, when wielded as a weapon, become a curse? Before we answer, let us unveil another of Nefertiti's secrets. A priest whispered, his voice trembling as if touched by a forbidden mystery. He was not alone. All who glimpsed her felt an inexplicable awe, not mere wonder, but a primal recognition. They had not seen a woman, but an enigma carved into stone and eternity. A commoner once caught a fleeting glance of her, a mere flash, enough to steal his sleep forever. He wandered Thebes' streets, muttering incoherently, his soul unable to bear the vision. When he collapsed at the temple gates, he uttered only one word: Isis. Was Nefertiti's beauty sorcery? Or did her power lie not in her face, but in something deeper, unseen, yet felt in the soul's core? But before we continue, we must look back. For beauty alone does not forge legends. There is always something else, far more perilous. Akhenaten. Was it love? Or an alliance veiled in cunning and sorcery? Nefertiti was no mere queen trailing her king's shadow. She was his true shadow, the pulse of his mind, the secret of his strength. In carvings, she stood beside him not as a wife, but as his completing spirit, a single entity walking through time's temple. Her whispers guided, her touch commanded. Was this love, or something deeper, more cunning? Did Nefertiti become Pharaoh? She stood alone on the palace balcony, staring into the endless dark. But her eyes saw not sand and stone. They saw a rising city, temples ascending, and glory that would bend all knees. She did not sense his approach, but he was there. Akhenaten. No man of fleeting passions, but a dreamer consumed by the madness of those who reshape worlds or perish trying. He stepped closer, hands clasped behind his back, and spoke softly, yet sharply. Everything opposes us, the priests, the army, even the gods themselves, as they say. She did not turn, but smiled with her trademark confidence. Are you afraid? He laughed faintly, devoid of joy. I fear nothing, but I wonder, do we make history, or will it devour us? When she finally faced him, her eyes held the certainty of kings. We do not merely make history, we rewrite it. That night held no man or woman, only a dream that defied gods, enraged priests, and ignited a war yet to begin. But was this the prelude to a golden age? Or are dreamers, upon touching the summit, doomed to fall? But before we answer, let us ask the most haunting question. Was Nefertiti merely a queen, or did she become something greater? If all was perfect, why did Nefertiti vanish from records after Akhenaten's 12th year? Why was her name erased? Some say she did not disappear. She ascended the throne. After Akhenaten's death, the kingdom teetered. No strong heir, priests scheming, the army divided. In this chaos, a mysterious name emerged, Smenkhare, a shadowy pharaoh who ruled briefly before vanishing. Some scholars believe this was no man, but Nefertiti's new title. Was this her plan all along? Or was she forced to hide in a world denying women's power? Ancient papyri hint at a pharaoh whose identity was deliberately erased, even their mummy lost. Could this be Nefertiti? But if she became pharaoh, why did her reign falter? Why did her empire crumble? Before we answer, we return to the moment her kingdom collapsed, swallowed by oblivion. Egypt was ablaze. After Akhenaten's death, everything crumbled. No strong heir, the new capital Akhetaten, a city besieged by wind and death. Exiled priests returned with greater power, temples rebuilt, and border enemies poised to strike the weakened kingdom. Yet amid this collapse, the war raged not only in streets, but within the palace. Some say Nefertiti did not vanish. She fought desperately to salvage her life's work. She knew the throne spared none. That rule belonged not to dreamers, but to those who fought to the end. But she was not alone in the arena. Others lurked. The priests, military leaders, or did danger come from those closest? Some believe her fall came not from war, but betrayal. Was she assassinated, forced to abdicate, or did she flee into night, leaving all behind? Whatever the truth, one thing is certain. Her name was erased from history, expunged from carvings as if someone sought to obliterate her memory. No mummy found, no trace remained, only legend. But did her story truly end, or did she linger somewhere unforeseen? Before we answer, we seek the final clue, a mysterious mummy that may hold the answer. In a dark chamber buried under sand and oblivion, something waited. For decades, researchers, explorers, and archaeologists sought to solve the riddle. Where did Nefertiti go? In 1898, in a cryptic tomb in the Valley of the Kings, a mummy was found, dubbed the Younger Lady. No ordinary mummy, her face intact, bones bearing strange marks, arms posed regally. Is this Nefertiti? DNA tests, X-rays, digital reconstructions all point to a baffling answer. Perhaps or perhaps not. If not her, where is she? Some theories claim she was never buried in the valley, perhaps reburied in secrecy, or her body burned to ashes, erased as her name was. But what if she remains, waiting in an unopened tomb? Nefertiti, the woman who defied time, leaving the world in anticipation. First, beauty, power, secrets, and fall. It is time to answer. Was her beauty a divine gift or a weapon? Both. She knew beauty alone wielded no power, but it shielded her, a sword to advance, a path to the throne. Was her bond with Akhenaten love or political alliance? A complex blend of emotion and strategy, perhaps a partnership turned into a bond, transcending love and politics, forged by glory and fate. Did she become Pharaoh? All evidence suggests so, but she sought no ordinary reign. She aimed to be remembered as a goddess, an eternal entity defying time itself. How did her kingdom fall? No sudden collapse, but a meticulously woven conspiracy. Wars, betrayals, priestly wrath, and enemy greed, all united to topple Egypt's greatest queen. Finally, where is she? Has her mummy been found? Perhaps found, perhaps still hidden, awaiting one bold enough to open the final door. But until that day, Nefertiti remains an enigma, defying time.